Odin into the last 16, but that was a real confident display from Manchester United tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah, the confidence was high. We spoke about that before the start of the game. We're playing home, so the fans are behind us. We have to go all out. So from the first minute, we start pushing because we need to win to go to the next round. So that's what we did.
It was a comfortable win in the end, but significant to get that first goal, particularly with the tie finally poised coming into it, and the way Bruges started as well.
Yeah, the first goal opened everything, and a red card too, so it's much difficult for them with our attacking and playing at home too, so that's very good. But from the start, we work hard to the last minute, so that's very good.
First start for you, and a first goal for Manchester United at Old Trafford, and a team that you supported as a boy. Just tell us what that moment meant for you.
Yeah, it's a great moment. I've been waiting for this, played 3 games, though I didn't play much, no goals, so a little bit pressure, but now I got a goal to start my Manchester United goal career, and with the team I've supported from when I was young, so it's very good. I'm very happy and I'm grateful to God.
Something that you've dreamt of?
Yeah, it's a big dream, and realizing the dream makes it even greater, so I thank God for this and I'm very happy.
Teammates have talked about how yourself and Bruno Fernandes have settled into the side and the impact that you've made. Do you feel like you've settled pretty quickly?
Yeah, because I know some of the guys from before, and they are good lads. In the dressing room, we speak, we have fun, we work together. So it's much easier to gel with the team. So I'm very happy. I'm more calm in the team. I'm working out towards our goal.
7 games unbeaten now for United. Is there a fresh belief that you can go all the way in this competition?
Yeah, it's possible. Everything is possible in football. We have the confidence now, winning games, going all out, playing our style, working out together as a team. So everything is possible.
Well done tonight.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, well done indeed. 11:05 in Nigeria. I think they'll be celebrating this evening and that goal from him for quite a while still to come. You kind of got a heart of stone if you don't watch him this evening, arriving here at 30 years old, having loved this club since he was a young boy, finally scoring for them. That was a nice moment.
Yeah, it was a brilliant one. He did well tonight. He looked sharp. We said before the game, I don't think he played since December the 1st, did we say? So, yeah, he looked sharp. He was good. And do you know what? He's come to this team probably at the right time, just as a really creative player has come into the team in Fernandes. And if United need to rely on him for the rest of the season, then I think he'll do a good job. He'll only get stronger, and he will get chances created for him as long as Fernandes is in the team.
Yeah, I like the fact that he gives them a reference point. I think Martial and Rashford, they're all, they're players that want to run at defenders. I think Igalo, he's really comfortable with his back to the defender, which is a different skill. And I think at times he did that really well today. And they had so many bodies, up in and around him. Mata was in there. Bruno Fernandes was in there, McTominay was in there, Fred was in there, and I think we'll see more goals from Manchester United to finish the season.
Let's talk about Man United generally. You do a lot of games for us. We tend to use you mainly for Man U games, and we often say we feel for you because you took up this job to talk about Man U at a time when Man U struggled. But, we sit here tonight. They're on their longest unbeaten run since Ole got the job. You were on your phone looking at stats about clean sheets. Only PSG of the top 5 leagues in Europe have registered more clean sheets than Man United this season. Their record in this competition is played for, won for, 13 goals scored, none conceded here at Old Trafford this season. How do you look at Man United generally at the moment?
Still a work in progress, I'd say. I think you'd always judge him on the league position, which for the last few months hasn't been good enough. We know that.
They're currently in the Champions League spots, though.
Are they 4th?
They're 5th, which at the moment gives you the Champions League.
Does it? I thought it was 4th, right.
No, which is City.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Which is good, and it's where you expect them to be. You don't expect them to be 5th, of course you don't. You expect them to challenge for the league title, but the way things have been the last couple of years, it's been a rebuilding job for Ole. There's no doubt about that. And I think now we're starting to see signs. Ole's signed, 4 players? Maybe 5 with Diagalo loaning. And I think all 4 of them have been really good. So I think the future's bright. There's some really good play tonight, especially that first 20 minutes it was lively. And sometimes when you bring a player as good as Fernandes, it livens everybody up. All of a sudden, everyone's giving that extra 5%. They want to impress the new player, and it's so unusual that a player from coming from a different country usually takes a little bit of time to settle down, but from the minute he started, he just looked a real player right from the off. And hopefully the signs are good and he stays in this type of form to the end of the season. They can get in that top 4, which you have to say that the favourites for. Looking at them now with this one player coming into the team, you'd have to fancy him. Chelsea had the problems, Tottenham had the problems, and it's something to build on for next year.
Yeah, I think if Ole can win a title, whatever it is, the FA Cup or the Europa League, if they can finish in the top 4, win one of those, he's had an exceptional season. And I think he's building best teams in Europe. So if they can get the attacking play, which looks like it's been addressed with Bruno Fernandes, plus a natural number 9, whether that's going to be Martial or Rashford or whoever it's going to be, they look good, Manchester.
But you mentioned rebuilding, you used the word building. You feel this is a club that is building or rebuilding or going in the right direction, not kind of aimlessly heading somewhere but we don't know where. You can see building blocks.
Well, but if you look at you're right, building blocks. You got De Gea, you got Maguire, you got a settled back 4 or 5, whatever it's going to be. The midfield has improved all of a sudden. McTominay's back in there. Pogba, that whole situation. Is he going to play or is he not? If not, can you get quality players in for him? Rashford, Martial, some really good players. Mason Greenwood's a star. Bruno Fernandes. So I think there's so many things to be excited about. And it's great to be able to come here for us and be excited to watch Bruno Fernandes and all these players take part, because there's some great players in there. And Oldie will try and get them back to what he used to, what Scholes was used to. And I think it's going to come. It might take time to catch City and Liverpool, but it'll come. I'm sure of that.
Should we talk about Bruno?
Why not?
Why not? What do you like about him?
Everything so far. Creativity, as we said. His awareness on the pitch. I think that's the most important thing. He knows where everybody is. Before that ball comes to him, he knows what's happening. He knows what's around him. He knows what the right passes to do, and more often than not, he makes the right passes. He's got goals in. He starts his numbers, whatever they are, last couple of years, a sensation. You just wonder why nobody else is coming for him, or why we didn't get him in the summer. But you just see he looks like he's got a goal in him. Now we talk about, is he a number 8 or number 10? I mean, we try to think of a player who reminds you of, and I think the only thing I can think of is De Bruyne, really, and that's high praise, because De Bruyne, for me, is the best player in the Premier League, the best midfield player in the Premier League, and he looks to me like he's up to that standard. And if United can get, I think they've got good players around him already, don't get me wrong, but it can just step that level up a little bit. I don't think they're far off.
If he could have set up 4 or 5 goals today.
Yeah.
If the final touch from whoever it was would have been better. I think that's how good this guy is. He takes tons of shots from the edge of the box. He's a good finisher, but his final ball, like De Bruyne, is very good. And that's why he scores goals and sets so many up. And I think they've got a really special one here. And I think Scholes is right. That's high praise, De Bruyne, but it almost looks like that's the trajectory for him.
We have to be careful not to get too carried away as well. You don't want to put a dampener on it.
Yeah. But that's what we do in this country, Paul.
Yeah,
You know the way it works.
I'm afraid so, yeah. But, he's played against Chelsea, a good team. United got a good win there. But these games, he's influenced massively now. You go to Everton on Sunday, it's a tough game, always a tough game, Everton, tough place to go. Can he have the same influence? City the week after, can he have the same influence? And I don't see... His temperament looks fine. He looks like he can handle a big occasion. I love that goal. What a goal that is from McTominay. Just sets it out of the post, brings it back in. Great goal, but no, he looks a special. Fans, you hope that in future he can become a player just as good as them.
Scholes is right. The one word is awareness. His awareness on a football pitch is special, and I think that's what's going to make him. He gets in good positions because he has a good feel for the game. I thought that was Scholes' greatest attribute. He kind of knew what was going to happen before it happened, almost like a chess. And I'm not saying Bruno has that, because there'll never be another Paul Scholes. But to think like that, to have ideas like that...
Are you getting the message tonight that he was quite a big fan of Paul's?
He was the best goal.
Yeah.
No, Owen's right. Awareness was drummed into me, awareness. But Eric Harrison all the time, always know where you were, especially in that position.
What did he used to say?
Be aware where you're on the football field. Have awareness.
There's genius coaching for
honestly,
you.
In that position where you're number 10, number 8, well, all your numbers you give, I don't care about all the numbers. But when you're playing a player in his position, you need to know where everybody's on the pitch. And he's got that. He's got everything sorted before the ball gets to him, and it makes everything quicker. It's difficult to defend against.
I know you say you don't care about numbers, but do you want to see him in a really sort of offensive position like a number 10 behind the strikers, or do you want him further back with everyone in front of him? He can spot the runs, he can play the passes.
Jake, it doesn't matter. If you watch the way De Bruyne plays, he played as a false nine the other day.
Yeah.
The point is, the great players find space like he did, like De Bruyne does, and Bruno did that today. He'll drift everywhere, and he'll find space because that's what the good ones do. And because he's that good, even if it's tight, he'll get on the half turn and he'll be ready. So he's an 8, he's a 10, whatever he is, he's effective, and that's the most important thing.
And he linked up well tonight with Juan Mata. We saw Jesse come on and look good. We saw a goal from McTominay, 2 goals from Fred. Is this all a coincidence, or is this when a player comes in, not only does he lift those around him on the football field, but actually, because football's a ruthless business, he puts a bit of pressure on them to be better footballers because he's there playing well?
Do you know what? Sometimes it can just take one player to make a team click. And he looks like that player. We knew there were good players there, but they wasn't brilliant players. And I think this player will make these players around him look better. You think of all the great teams. You look at City last, 8 or 9 years with David Silva. Will make these players around him look better. You think of all the great teams. You look at City last, 8 or 9. The places we've been, and he just looks that type of player to me who can knit a full attack of a team together.
What does this Man United midfield look like then? Let's say back end of this season, start of next season, everyone's back from injury, the whole strange, odd Paul Pogba situation gets sorted out. How does it look? What do you expect?
Well, you've got to build around those. If it's going to be Pogba and Fernandes, that's great.
Will it be?
Hopefully. It doesn't look like it. And I think it actually takes pressure off that whole Pogba situation now that Bruno's there, because you don't have to worry about, his goals and assists. He's the best player at Manchester United. Now you can have one that can take that. And if Paul leaves because of the contract and all that thing, then they got to get top dollar from him and get somebody in that can affect the midfield as well. So I think right now, Fred, McTominay, Fernandes, that's great. It's really good.
I think the fact that the last couple of weeks nobody's really mentioned about Pogba coming back into the team, I think that speaks volumes for what Fernandes has brought to the team. He's probably brought what you expected from Pogba over the last couple of years, which hasn't quite materialised. And I think the balance of the team looks really good. He's playing Matic and Fred. I know it's McTominay tonight, but them two sitting there and allowing Fernandes the freedom has really worked for now, and I don't think you go away from that when it's working. Look, Paul Pogba's situation, we know what a top player is. He's a great player. It doesn't look like he's going to be here next year. We don't know that. We know from what you're hearing. So I just think carry on as you are and see how it goes. It's looking good enough at the minute. Pogba, with the way he's played the last couple of years, would he get into this team now? I think it'd be tough for him.
You think so?
I think so, yeah. The way the team are playing, how can you change that? There's from this last 3 or 4 games, settled 2 with the Fernandes, so he settled 3. They've looked as good as they've looked for the last 3 or 4 years to me.
It's a good point.
I think that the stability in midfield, if you're going to have McTominay and Fred, that could be a great partnership. And then Fernandes in front, and then you get Rashford off the left when he's fit, Martial through the middle, and Greenwood off the right. That's really good. That's a great 6 to go with a defensive team that's strong and one of the best goalkeepers in the world on his day. It's not that far away, and then you don't have to really go get 4 or 5. You can just get, like Liverpool, go get one like a Van Dijk or someone to take you from there to there, and hopefully it's an easier rebuilding job.
And you think about the players we're talking about as well. You think of a Maddison in the team, another creative player, a Grealish in your team, or a Sancho in your team. All of a sudden, it's really exciting.
That's some evolution, though, to go from obsessing about Paul Pogba to questioning whether he even gets into the midfield. It's interesting.
Well, when your team's playing as well as it is now, look, I know we're going to get carried away again. It's only the last 3 or 4 games. It's looked really good, and tonight, first half an hour, the first hour while Fernandes was on the pitch, it's not been a team to get excited about. I think now it is.
Fred's had his critics this season. A couple of goals from him this evening, and he's finding a role that works for him as well.
Yeah, he's just a good player, and he's always been a good player. But I think in the United team that struggled, I think it was going to be difficult, and I think he got a lot of criticism because of the feet. He's a good player. You can see he's a good player the way he takes the ball. At times, I think that Shakhtar played really deep, and I remember his manager Fonseca saying he's an 8, which means you get in on the attack as well. And I think he's starting to do that more. And if Scott can be that player who can sit in there, then there is license for him to get forward. And I think that the understanding of him and Fernandes and Mata today was really good. They were close to each other, looking for each other, and he's two-footed. I think he's just a good midfield player. I think that can play in multiple positions.
Yeah, I think it's always important as this club to have energy in the team, a bit of speed about it. I think he does that. I don't always think he brings the most quality, but he gets to the ball, he tackles, he's willing to do that. He's willing to put the hard yards in. And like I say, I don't think he's a brilliant footballer, but he's good enough in there, and he livens a place all the time. Just a tackle or a bit of aggression can liven the place up. And it's nice he's contributed a couple of goals because he had a really tough time of it at the start. And I'm really pleased for him. He looks like he's settled down and really settled in. Again, that's an example of players taking a while to settle in. You've seen Fernandes. We settled in straight away. He took months and months and months to settle in, but now he's off and running, and let's hope there's more to come from him.
Well, I'm sure there'll be some Man United fans, or maybe non-Man United fans, accusing us of getting carried away. It's nice, though, to sit here and talk positively, right, about your old club for a change. Enjoyed that.
We should be getting carried away. It was good, 5-0, and it seems like it's gone one way.
Quite right.
Well, congratulations into the next round, but plenty of other elements to be positive about tonight. What pleased you the most?
Well, the football we played at times. First half especially, I thought how we started the game with great intent, tempo in our game, combination play, good rhythm in our play, and some very, very nice goals.
Bruno Fernandes was making his impact felt once again, but how pleased are you to see Ighalo off the mark?
When you have a striker in, he does what it says on the tin. He plays up front there, we can play up to him, he can get hold of it, but the goal was a good example on what you want from Odeon, because the ball's gone over him and he spins quickly, gets in front of the centre back and it just taps it in. Just what we've been lacking a little bit.
With Martial now injured as well, when you see Fernandes, Ighalo, Greenwood, Fred tonight as well, does that potential situation feel a bit more manageable?
Yeah, definitely. If we hadn't had Odeon tonight and Mason would have had to play, then then there's a game on Sunday. So it was a good signing. We know what we signed when we got Odeon.
You're on your best run now of the season. What do you think has been key to this consistency?
Well, we're not conceding goals. That's a good start. But today I thought we look like what we want to play. Attacking football. We want to have combination play. Players with swagger, confidence, smile on their faces, and I think the new lads have brought that in as well.
It's come at a crucial time as well, another big week as you fight on several fronts.
Yeah, Everton on Sunday is a big one, so now we just enjoy this one for tonight and get a good rest and get ready for Sunday.
Well done tonight.
Thank you.